What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for yet another Tottenham update. A few bits and pieces regarding transfers to talk about today in the last 24 hours of Tottenham news, and it is that name again, Nico Williams, as Mike McGrath from the Telegraph saying that Athletic Bilbao forward Nico Williams is set to be the subject of Premier League approaches this summer, with Tottenham one of the clubs with an eye on the situation of the rising star, who has a 42.8 million release clause in his contract. We've spoken about him quite a bit. We spoke about him yesterday on the update, and it's now a more reliable source in terms of Mike McGrath from the Telegraph. So things creeping in the right direction.
Reports you love to see. Love to see it. I mean, come on, Nico Williams. We need to will this into existence. He would be such a good fit for our system. And what's also a benefit, he can play on both wings. He's so fast. He's really starting to add that end product into his game as well. I'm super excited, and the fact that more reliable sources are now reporting it doesn't seem like just a rumour that in the ether at the moment, just to put words on pages. It seems like actually we are seriously interested in him, and that's really, really encouraging. As we said, 42 million, that release clause should be a no-brainer for his age, his profile, the quality of player he is. I really hope we step it up and try and jump ahead of the competition, because he'd be a serious signing for us.
And when you talk about Spurs making transfers, right, everyone says, oh, Spurs aren't going to spend 100 million, 80 million, 90 million on a player. But that price is well within our price budget and price bracket that we usually play. And to think that you can get a Nico Williams for less than what you got Richarlison for, what you got Brennan Johnson for, Ndombele, all these kind of players, it blows my mind, really.
It's a no-brainer. Activate it immediately. Come on, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for?
Spurs should be all over this. They really should. And let's say, hypothetically, if we do activate Timo and Nico Williams, are you still looking at one more winger, or you think that's enough?
Well, the fact that Nico can play both sides probably doesn't mean it's essential, I would say. I would say probably not, but maybe if an opportunity comes up where a deal's there for a player we really want, I would look at it. But I think Timo, Werner and Nico, I think that gives us good options. I don't think we need to be desperate for another one.
Yeah, I think in an ideal world, you would want another. If you go into next season, let's say with Nico and Timo on the left, and Brennan and maybe one other on the right, and then move Kulusevski more into the middle, I think that is a formidable force, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true, but you got Nico who can play left on right, and then you got Werner on the left. You also got Solomon still there. Son can fill in on the left if need be, and then on the right you've got Nico can fill in. You've got Brennan. You've got Kulusevski who can play there. So I think that gives you good options.
Yeah, look, I wouldn't be disappointed if that happens. I'll be absolutely delighted. But I'm just saying, in a complete ideal world, that is probably what I would want. But this world ain't ideal, especially when you got Daniel Levy as your chairman. But no, I'm joking. I think that Nico Williams should be an absolute must for Tottenham, particularly at that price point as well. Let's move on and let's talk about defenders now. And Bild are reporting that Tottenham have an interest in Leverkusen's defender Piero Hincapié. And I keep saying the same thing over and over again, why we keep getting linked with the right-sided centre-back. So now we are linked with a left-sided centre-back, Piero Hincapié, who's had an absolutely brilliant last couple of seasons for Bayer Leverkusen. But it's just the question is the level and the stature that he's on right now, is he going to come here and play for competition for places with Van de Ven?
Good question. Obviously, he's one we were linked with a couple of years ago when we had Conte. We were looking for that left-sided centre-back, and he was of serious interest. We didn't quite get the deal done. He ended up signing a deal at Leverkusen, and he's progressed really, really well, and he's probably going to command a fee a lot higher than what we would have looked to pay back then. A player who's, really suits how we want to play. He's really good on the ground. He's really brave on the ball. Can also fill in at left-back if need be. I think I've seen him fill in on that occasion for Leverkusen a number of occasions. So I think it'd be perfect for us. He would be an expensive signing. I would love it to happen, but as you say, is it one where he comes in, he's thinking, am I going to be above Van de Ven? Am I going to be above Destiny Doggett at left back? Maybe not. But I think he's a player who's good enough to easily compete with them and maybe even displace them at some point. So I wouldn't be surprised if we signed him, at points he would be our number one in either one of those positions.
Yeah, I mean, is he fast enough to do the Van de Ven role?
He's not as fast as Van de Ven, but who is? But is he fast enough? I think so.
The way I see him fitting in, if you sign Piero Hincapié, maybe that decreases the need to sign a left back, because you've got Van de Ven who can fill in there, you've got him that can fill in there, you've got Ben Davis who'll probably be around next season as well. So if you were to sign Hincapié as your only defensive option in the summer and not get a left back, would you be happy with that?
I think that would be the main reason for signing him, because he can fill in both those positions.
Yeah. I guess, like, we did say Van der Ven could fill in that position. We haven't seen it yet, though.
No, we haven't.
Next up, we're going to talk about Wilfred Indeed of Leicester. HITC saying that Tottenham, Villa, Newcastle, Brighton and Wolves are all interested in Wilfred Indeed and monitoring the situation at Leicester as he is out of contract in the summer. I mean, if you would have asked me about Wilfred Indeed about 4 or 5 years ago, I would have said yes. I think he was a star in the making in the Premier League. Something, I don't know, it hasn't gone maybe the way he has planned, but he is having a sensational season in the Championship this year.
He's a good player. I just don't think he's an upgrade on Basuma. Is he better than even Højbjerg? I have my doubts about that. I'm not saying he's a bad player by any stretch, and a lot, obviously, for a free signing, whoever gets him is going to be getting a good player. I just don't think there's a need to bring in Wilfred Indeed.
Yeah, I kind of agree. When you're looking at sixes, I want us to sign like sixes at the top of their game at the elite level, you know what I mean? That's what we need to upgrade on a Basuma, right? Wilfred Indeed, I completely agree with you, either is a drop down from that. So we want someone that's better than Basuma, that can really provide what we need in this Ange Postecoglou system week in, week out. So as a free signing, it's okay, but I think we need to be looking more about just value of what a free signing is going to bring, as opposed to who's going to fit the system particularly well and give us those upgrades. But let's finish off talking about this Man City game that has been rescheduled. It has been scheduled for the 14th of May, 8 p.m. kickoff Tuesday night at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which is the Tuesday just before the last game of the season against Sheffield United away. So I guess by then we'll know whether we want to win or lose.
Definitely. Let's hope that we spoil Arsenal's party at the Lane earlier in the season, and then maybe Arsenal can lose the league at the Lane with City winning. Who knows? But look, in all seriousness, obviously, if we're still battling for top four and everything, it could be a very, very big game for us as well. Hopefully, Man City have got it wrapped up by then, and we can try and win the game for our own sake. But it's going to it makes for a mouth-watering tie. Penultimate game of the season. Man City coming to the Tottenham Stadium with so much potentially to play for going into it. It's going to be interesting to see if because obviously Man City, this will be their game in hand, I'm assuming then, or
yeah.
Arsenal are going to play in midweek as well.
No, this is Man City's game in hand because of the FA Cup.
Right,
so Arsenal aren't in the FA Cup.
So by the time this game happens, they will have had a game in hand. So it'll be interesting to see if they're behind at this stage or if they're level on points or whatnot. Because let's say they're level on points of Arsenal going into it, but this is their game in hand, and we can still win, and City could still win the league. So if Arsenal are ahead, though, it'll be interesting to see what kind of atmosphere it is at the Lane on that night.
I mean, through my lifetime of being a Spurs fan, this has happened quite on a number of occasions. You know, in the Manchester United days in the 90s and the 2000s and stuff like that. And I remember one game when Spurs played Man United and we needed Man United to win the league ahead of Arsenal, and I think Spurs went 1-0 up early with Les Ferdinand, and I think a lot of Spurs fans in the stadium were just distraught at the time. And so I do envisage if it's that kind of similar situation, it will be very similar. And I saw someone put on Twitter saying this is going to be the tifo for the game, and it just says has a blue moon rising.
Yeah, look, it should be interesting. We'll see what the game state is by the time we have the game, but in terms of clashes near the end of the season, it doesn't get much bigger.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you think it's good for us or bad for us that this game's been rescheduled? Because it does, it was going to be in the thick of the action, before Arsenal, Liverpool, Newcastle, all in a row. So do you think it's better that it's spread out a bit?
I would say so. And obviously it's better that it's now between Burnley and Sheffield United than it is in and amongst Arsenal and Liverpool and all those tough games. So I think it probably does benefit us. Obviously, Man City are going to have some they're going to be in a mix with Champions League or whatnot, so it'll be a test for their squad as well, but I think it probably benefits Spurs slightly.
I think it'll probably come just after the semi-finals of the Champions League, right? I don't think it will be in the middle or anything like that. So
it's midweek, so it can't be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So exactly. So the week after the season will be over. So they'll be preparing for their Champions League final after knocking out Bayern Munich, because Bayern Munich would have battered Arsenal in the second leg. So
exactly.
That's the way it's going to pan out. But that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all the news stories we've brought to you today. Thank you everyone for watching. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always,
come on you Spurs.